Hello, hello. Tanglewood Sue here and
Accidental Agnes.
Yay! Thank you guys.
Listen to our audience.
Peanut gallery. Yeah, y'all supposed to be in front of us. To fix myself, not behind us. All right, here we go. So, can you tell what I did today? Look at my ear. Look at my neck. Can you tell what I
don't
did?
have a hickey.
No, I do not. Really? Did I get all of it off? All of it off? I dyed my hair, but I do it myself. So usually the first day I cannot wear my hair up.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got like this thing of dye.
Oh.
Hey guys, welcome. I got like dye here and like I'll have like something. Oh, I'm just showing off my bra. There, it's like all the way down here. Like I can't even see it because I do my own hair.
My sister does her own hair too.
Yeah, does she walk around with stuff on her ears all day?
Probably. Since I don't live with her, I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, I'm wearing my hair up right now because y'all can't see.
Didn't anybody ever tell you cover your ears or something with Crisco or to protect it?
Does it look like I have Crisco? Yes, it does. Actually, you know what I use?
What? Coconut oil?
Deodorant.
Deodorant.
If you use the clear deodorant, it is like, that stuff stays on there. Hey, Callie girl, that stuff stays on there.
Okay.
Right? And so I usually like go like this and put it like here. Yeah. I did that and that does help.
I noticed it when you lifted your bangs.
Oh. See? You can see it. It'll fade off by tomorrow once my natural oils of my scalp. But I've learned the hard way. Don't do your hair on gig day.
On gig day, okay.
Tomorrow's gig day. I'll be fine by tomorrow. This will go away. But I have done it the morning of a gig. That's embarrassing.
I bet.
Especially since I'm dyeing it red. This looks like, do you have an injury? All right, before we get started tonight, I do want to show you guys something. So, being an upcycling shop, people just bring us things. Sometimes crazy things. So, can I show you what was dropped off today?
Yes, please.
Very nice. Very, very nice lady. Jeffrey! Hey, baby. How are you? Okay. This is... Normally, they drop off clothes. We are on the Tanglewood Works page, right?
I gotta hope
check
so.
me. Sometimes when my friends show up. Yeah, because these are most of our girls. Okay. She's like, do you take clothes? I was like, we don't consign clothes. She goes, can I just give them to you? They're my clothes, my cocktail dresses. I'm like, what am I going to say? No? Then she brings me this.
Looks more like a wedding dress.
I said,
it like for a cotillion or something?
It's a cotillion dress.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. So...
I bet she had a hoop to go with it too. It looks like... Oh, I love the petticoat.
Do you know how like, you could get with this, a cotillion and nobody could see? I'm sure that was going on in mine. Did you know I was a debutante?
No, I did not.
Yes, first Jewish debutante in Durham, North Carolina. That's right.
My.
Shalom. Anyway, you guys, so... do you want to know what I'm going to do with it?
Yes.
Every year we sing up at the Night of 100 Elvises at the Lord Baltimore. And they have these trees. Hey, Denise. Hey, Andy. They have these gorgeous trees that they are upcycled. And a lot of them are upcycled with dresses.
Oh.
So it's like a tree/dress. I think we need to dye it. Some crazy colors like we learned in Bold and Brazen, okay?
Yes, I love that it's tiered already, so that would
basically, if there are any children watching, send them away. Bling the fuck out of it.
Okay.
Like, just crazy. And then, I mean, it's the size of a tree. All right, y'all with me?
Use a tomato cage. Upside down.
We have a year.
Okay.
We can do this in a year. Okay, so tonight we asked what you wanted to learn about, and the first answer was What are we up to now? Always something, Andy. We're going to teach you about image transfers because you can do this as a last-minute gift. Who's done with their Christmas shopping?
Not me.
Not even close. Not even close. I did, segue, 1 second. I did make, hopefully my family's not on here, I made personalized mugs with personalized pictures for each family member. So I had to go through all my pictures and find, and then I obsess over it. Like, oh my God, well, Dad will want a picture of his dog, but then Mom will want a picture with her. It took me about 8 hours. Merry Christmas. Okay, because basically I've brought them stuff from my store for the last 6 years. Like, at a certain point, I gotta go shopping. Anyway, so last minute gift ideas. You guys, image transfers are where it's at. Now, there is not time tonight to teach you the plethora of image transfer techniques that are out there. We actually did this month in Bold and Brazen, and it took like 3 hours, and we still didn't get through all of them.
Okay, because you had at least 3 different methods, right?
I know of 10 different methods to do image transfer, and they're all good in different ways. We're gonna kiss it tonight. We're gonna keep it simple, stupid. Y'all ain't stupid. Me. I mean, there are different ways.
Or you could say, keep it simple, silly.
Keep it simple, silly.
Right. For those people who don't want to be,
offensive.
Yeah, you're right.
We talked about that. We're finding our audience. If you're easily offended,
bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so this is a really fun technique. I just want to show you if you can kind of see in here. There's like these little bubbles and crinkles. This method was actually, let me see if I can remember, label paper, Mod Podge, and matte spray, and a printer. It is not easy to do, and I have a lot of fails, but this was one that came through, and it came through, look at that. And this did not involve what we're going to do tonight, which is kind of tedious.
Okay.
This technique rocks.
I like the crackly finish.
I can't show it to you tonight.
Okay.
It's too much. It's too complicated. But you know how we might do it? You know where we might do it?
Bold and Brazen?
Bold and Brazen. And do you know what tonight is? It's not the last night of Hanukkah. That was a couple days ago. Do you know what
Yeah,
tonight
that's
is?
true. That was the Monday.
Tonight's the last night you can join Bold and Brazen as a founding member.
As a founding member.
As a founding member,
That's
we
a
have
better deal.
been going about 8 months for this year, and thank you for being a founding member. And we do have some fantastic founding members. And now that I got my big girl pants on, we're going to launch in 2019 for reals with a whole new website. I got a whole new URL. It's going to be fancy schmancy. We're stepping our game up. I've listened to what you guys tell me you want me to stop doing.
Okay. Oh.
Luckily, it wasn't drinking. No, I've learned what you guys are getting out of the group, and I have got a plan for delivering it. But it's going to be more expensive. So if you want to be a founder, get in tonight. I have spoken. Okay, the link is everywhere. If you have to ask, no, it's fine. I'll put the link on your hair. I don't need to be catty.
Seriously, man, that was just a little too far.
That was too far. Okay, yes, no. Don't you hate it though if you go to a store and you can't find the price and you just know what they're thinking though? I'm not that person. That's not what I meant. I was making a joke on that, but like if you have to ask, you can't afford it. You can afford $32. All right, so here's what I want to teach you guys tonight. We're going to be doing the Mod Podge method of image transfer.
Okay.
Because it's the easiest,
Okay.
it's the cheapest, and it works. Write this down. There are some other options to the Mod Podge
Okay.
that I like. One of them is Liquitex Matte Gel.
Okay.
Okay. I'll show you exactly what we're going to do, but you can use the Liquitex. It's a little more expensive. Sometimes I feel like it works better, and sometimes it doesn't. So Mod Podge is where it's at. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight, the steps involved. So here's one that I did. Can you guys see that? So you can get a really crisp, nice image doing this technique. And I like to do it on wood. There are other techniques you can do on fabric. We did this one on fabric in Bold and Brazen. Didn't that turn out nice?
It did, considering it's a pretty rough textured canvas.
Very rough. All right, so that's another technique. But we're going to talk about the image transfer with Mod Podge technique tonight. Now, I know a lot of you guys have seen this online, and you've probably done the same thing I've done, which is cry. The first time you try it. Did you try it on your own yet?
No, not on my own.
My job here is to just try to keep you from crying. It can be done, but you have to be patient. And if you are like me,
you're not patient.
But it's good for me. It was good for me. My stepmother ordered 10 of these transfers of Christmas cards one year. I did it, but it was very hard. Start with, yes, thank you for your commiseration. Start with something bold. Don't start with a face. I want you to do a face because faces are what you're going to want to put on the ornaments and such. I know you're going to go there, but just try the technique without the face yet. There's nothing worse than doing your whole thing and then rubbing, and it,
there it goes.
You just beheaded Grandma.
Right.
Grandma got beheaded by your image transfer.
There goes her nose.
There goes her nose. All right, so here's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to, as with any good craft or cooking show, we already have things done. So we're going to
do the magic of.
So I've already done this process. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. First of all, take your image. Now, this is what's awesome these days. Digital cameras.
Digital cameras.
Such a new nice thing. So my aunt and uncle have been married
50
years.
I haven't met them, but she mentioned it earlier. That's how I knew.
And they had their 50th wedding anniversary party, and I couldn't go.
Oh.
So, but they had the most beautiful, beautiful invitation.
Oh, look at that.
Of a picture on their wedding day. And now, I believe on this, unless it's flipping it around, so it's showing on our camera that it's the right way. But, so what I did was I had the invitation, I took a picture of it. Hey, Lisa! I just took a picture of it, brought it into my computer. All right, so we're there. Everybody with me? Nothing too complicated. Import. This is the only complicated thing. You need to find your program, if it has writing, to flip your image.
Okay.
I forget every time.
Oh.
Every time. But this has a lot of writing on it, so I remembered to flip it. Usually, if you're on a Mac, you can go into Preview, and there's a horizontal flip. Just boom. Perfect. If you're on a PC, I don't want to talk to you anymore because I don't understand you. I don't know anything about you. I can't figure you out.
All right, bye.
Wait, no! Really?
Well, that's all I use at work is,
I knew
PCs.
there was some way we weren't aligned. I knew we were politically aligned. I knew we were aligned in our values and belief system. So this is where it is. This is the dividing line. Mac, PC. I guess it could be worse. Do you think we can work through this?
Yeah.
We'll get a counselor. Anyway, yes. So printed this out, and I printed out different sizes just to have some fun. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to do.
What kind of printer did you print them on?
It doesn't matter for this.
Okay, for this it doesn't matter if it's an inkjet or a laser.
No.
Okay.
Inkjet, laser, copy store, toner, anything. Don't use your real picture though.
Oh, yeah.
That won't, no, don't do that. But basically anything at all. So what you need to do is, so I've done by the magic, I like to use just pieces of wood, reclaimed wood, okay? So you can use these little wood ornaments if you want to do a small one, okay? Or just random wood pieces. I mean, sometimes the rougher, the better. Oh my God, everybody's PC. Okay.
Apple snob. I love it, Melissa.
I know. My husband is PC and I'm Apple. And I'm just like, can you help me? He's like, because, you know, he wants to go inside and do the coding and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, hey, guess what I did today? I did a / force mount drive. He's like, oh, honey. On my Mac, I figured out where that finder level was, and I got my, I coded.
Awesome.
/ Just find pieces of wood. I like upcycled. Don't make it too pretty, because that defeats the purpose. Right? Just rough, funky. Now, you have 2 options. You can keep it naked. You can do it in the raw. Which works, but you're going to see the wood grain through your picture.
So if you're okay with that, then
yeah. So I think that looks nice. Here's where I think it looks nice. If you're kind of doing an artsy-fartsy kind of image. But if it's a picture of grandma.
Or something a little rustic, maybe.
And you want it to pop, paint it white. Paint it white with anything. I just use some of our Dixie Belle, available here in cotton, and I painted it. Okay, so paint it white. You could paint it a color. I would just say paint it white. Okay, so let me.
I just keep thinking of the song "Paint It Black."
How's it go?
It's a Rolling Stones song.
I know it is. I just want to get you to sing.
That's not going to happen right now. I can't even remember the words.
Go get your beer. Go get your beer. Get. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you how I'm going to paint this. And you're going to be like, Sue, I know how to paint it. I know you do, but I want to show you a little bit of what makes it look a little bit more fun. Okay? Just bear with me. I'm going to tilt you down. Oh, I always forget to get the weight on here. Hold up. Why can't I ever remember that? I have to step over the cotillion dress. Hold on. Grandma got run over by a reindeer, coming home from our house Christmas Eve. You may say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. I haven't heard that.
I love that song.
I have not heard that. Of all the
have you seen the
stuff we've had, have I seen the whole Christmas show? No.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. It's a little cartoon.
It's really
animated.
It used to be your ringtone. Okay, can you guys see there? Yeah, there we go. All right, you don't need to have it be the exact size of your piece. I don't think that's necessary. But if you're gonna have it kind of be on the inside of it, what I like to do when I'm doing these is, you can do 1 or 2 coats, but if you're going for that rustic look, this is like the only time I'm into dry brushing, okay? I'm so anti-dry brush, but for this technique, I like it. Because it kind of, what we're doing here is we're giving it its own, like, border, okay? There you go. So you just want to make sure, and if you have like these knots right here, cover those up because they're going to be a little troublesome. And if you do have a face, don't put it right over the knot because it'll be a little harder to pull it off, okay? So there you go. If you painted it full, you could go back and sand it back. There's no problem with that. But that way, when you put your square image on here, I'm also going to show you how, hold on, our connection is wonky. Okay. I'm also going to show you how you can make your image not so square.
Okay.
So it's like kind of floating. I'm gonna try to show you that, except this one doesn't have an edge. All right, so we'll think about that. Let's set that aside for just a second while that dries. So what we need for tonight is, oh God, I'm so sorry. Can you, the big jug of Mod Podge. Here are the tools we're gonna use tonight. We've been singing a lot of Christmas carols here, so forgive me. All right, so this is called a brayer. You don't need to buy one for Michael's. If you have one lying around, grab it because it does help. But I have another trick for you. And Mod Podge, okay? Do I have time to tell them the Mod Podge story? It's quick. It's really quick. Pam didn't put the top on all the way and put it on its side and put it inside of the cabinet.
Oh.
Let your imagination take it from there.
Glug, 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 glug.
Yes, and we didn't catch it till the next day.
Oh.
Yeah, baby. All right, if you do not have a brayer, there's so many things that you can use. Now, I don't know why you'd have a glue stick and not a brayer in your arsenal.
Okay, that's a heavy-duty glue stick.
Yeah.
Man. It's not gonna
you just need something. Oh, we always have to do something inappropriate. Go get your own. Oh no, I think this is the last one. We can fight over it.
Let's cut it in half.
Wait. I'll light you. Glue stick mama. Oh, you just want something that you can roll to push out your air bubbles.
Yeah.
Just needs to be smooth. Smooth.
A wooden dowel.
Wooden dowel. You could even, this is not good because that's there, but you could even,
a piece of pipe.
Oh, wait. A paintbrush.
A rolling pin.
Yep. Oh, you know what I always have used? The smudge sticks.
Smudge sticks from...
For drawing.
Oh, okay.
Smudge sticks. Or even like this
did you
is
steal that
like
from
a dowel.
Sadie?
I think she must have left it here because this isn't mine.
Oh.
Anyway, anything that's smooth that you can roll, okay? I mean, these are great. If you have it, great. But you guys know when you're taking a class with me, it's using what you have because why?
Save yourself money.
Yes.
Use what you have. Save yourself.
Well, you could go with like save the world and the economy and the environment, blah, 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 blah. Let's be honest. We're too impatient to stop and go to a store. We just want to find what we have.
Right.
That's how we do art.
If these were maybe like a glass beer bottle.
Yes.
You know, something with a
Yes.
smooth
Either
edge.
not drunk or all the way drunk. Or, oh yeah, or like a canning jar, a can of chicken noodle soup. Children noodle soup. Melissa, do we need to talk about Hansel and Gretel?
Children noodle soup.
Okay, so this is chalk paint, so it's basically dry. So we're going to flip this over, and I'm going to show you how this is going to work. We are going to first, okay, we have a couple options. I am going to cut this just in half. Now, there are two approaches to this, okay? If you want to, you can cut right on the edge, all right? Because we know you don't eat children with your noodles, Melissa. Trust us, okay? But basically, this is how mine will look when it's all done. The white is just gonna peel off. So I can make this perfect, but I don't have to. Sometimes what I like to do is have the piece of paper be bigger than the wood block, and I'll put the wood block down on top.
Oh, okay.
Of the paper rather than the paper on the wood block. And you might be like, why? If you want to align things perfectly.
Okay.
Okay, but for the sake of today, we're just gonna keep it simple, silly. Okay, so let me show you.
Really cross, it's like, simple shithead.
Keep it simple, shithead. Can you go get me another
brush?
Me another brush? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
No, I don't. Yeah.
For the Mod Podge.
For the Mod Podge, and I'll find a bowl to put it in. I'm sorry, you guys. It's the holiday season, and we are here for you. But I didn't promise that we would be fully organized. Actually, perhaps I did. But I will have to break that promise of having it together and organized. I mean, my sister came over this morning. Yes. Yes, dear. Last night we had to go to my daughter's Christmas show, middle school Christmas show. I mean, so the drama department was putting on 3 skits. And the drama teacher came out and said, can we please keep the room quiet? Because we're working on a projection, but we're not going to use microphones. And my husband and I looked at each other like, oh, please. There are like 300 people in here, and it's middle school, and so all these families have babies. So the room is filled with babies and toddlers and these 3 skits. So I leaned over to Brian and I said, what do you say after this is over? I was telling him about these 3 skits we had to watch by the drama department of middle school without microphones in a room full of screaming children. So I said, let's play a drinking game after this about what we think that they were acting out.
Oh, okay.
And we'll compare notes. And then we'll ask Sadie if we were right or wrong.
Was she in it?
No, but she had to sit through it because she's in band, so she had to sit through it. I mean, there was just nothing worse than not being able to hear and having, like, I wanted to hear them. I mean, they're cute kids,
Right.
but, like, you know, the spirit of Christmas is when we all gather here together to say that we love one each other. And then that's what it was.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like listening. It was like 15 minutes of a phone breaking up. That's what it was like. And you couldn't leave. And a baby was in the car. Anyway, I digress. Let's go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do. Gosh, I don't know what's bouncing the light so bad. Is we are going to put our Maji Podgy on. Okay? She took my beer away.
Oh, is that your beer?
It's okay. Now,
Oh, sorry.
so there's the little
the
knot.
other
So I'm going to put that at the bottom. And I'm just going to put this on. Now, I might end up going over where my picture is, but I'd rather go over and have Mod Podge there than be under. You
Okay.
feel me? Now, don't overthink this. You don't want quite so much that is falling off, but you need enough. I guess basically
You want it to stick
you
really
want
well.
it to stick, okay? So I would say that's probably like a 32nd of an inch or so, you know, about 3 coats. All right? Does that make sense, everybody? So I know there's really no way to show them very well. And then get the dog hair out of your brush. There you go. Put that back on. I've been trying to bring blue to work. This may not work.
Why? Did she misbehave?
No, I'm finding dog fur everywhere.
Oh.
Like, you want to be able to see the ridges in there,
Yeah,
okay?
she does.
You want to be able to see the ridges. All right, so now what I'm going to do, this is pretty square, but you'll be able to see through this once you put it on. So you'll be able to kind of tell where your image is. So it's backwards. I'm just going to stick it on, okay? And then if you've got enough on there, you'll be able to mush it around. So now, don't look at your paper, look at your image. So I want to make sure my image is on there straight. There we go. That looks pretty good. I kind of nailed it first time, don't you think?
Yep.
Yep. I mean, if you have to, you can kind of push with your hands or pull back.
And that's what the brayer's for, isn't it?
To what?
To push it down.
Well, the brayer, now we're going to bray it, but no, we want to, before we like push it, we want to make sure we have it exactly where we want it. I
Okay.
personally like to have a little bit more headroom. Well, it's already there. A little bit more headroom, you know, a little
Okay.
bit more here than there, not have it totally centered. But sometimes what I'll do if I have a little extra, I might like write love or the date or, you know, you can always kind of fill things in. You can even go back and paint. I was actually going to maybe do a little gold gilding around the edge.
Oh.
Because the invitation had gold. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to push out any air bubbles. Now, here's what I want you to be aware of. Do you see how I pushed it out and I got it into the Mod Podge? It's not that big a deal, but you don't want to get the glue on top of the paper. You don't want the glue on here, okay? Because, so when you go and you push it off and you get some on your brayer, wipe it. And the reason is, you'll see in the next step, if you get glue on here, the water won't penetrate and you won't be able to pull off the paper easily.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So, see what I just did? I didn't wipe it off well enough. So that's okay. I'm just gonna wipe it off my paper. It's not that it won't come off. I mean, you haven't ruined it before you've even started, but you definitely want to...
You don't want it to dry.
You don't want it to dry there, yeah. And sometimes when you're wetting it and you'll see a little design and you'll realize, I got the glue on there. Because basically, And that's why you don't do this on cardstock or any kind of thick paper. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna wipe off some of this extra glue. If you have a beading here, you wanna wipe that off. Now, a lot of times when I do this, the paper will actually go over the edge when I do that. I just happened to print this in a way that I was using half the paper. And if your whole paper's on here like this, and you bray it, go back and get the excess off these edges, okay? That's what I want you to do. So you can see I've got a couple little bubbles there, nothing major. The moisture, this is why you don't want to put too much glue. Let me tilt up so I can talk to you guys for a second. The reason you don't want to put too much glue is because the glue is a liquid and it will kind of your paper.
Okay.
Okay, that's a technical term. And it will put little ridges in there because it's moist. I hate that word. Okay, so I'm going to take our other brayer and I'm just going to keep pushing out those wrinkles. So once you let it sit for a second and it'll kind of do that little crinkly thing, that's why I have a lot of techniques on how to use tissue paper and stuff, things that are really sensitive to moisture. You know, the glue is not going to hold them flat. I hope that makes sense to our viewers tonight. If you haven't decoupaged before, you might not know the terms of which I speak, but just trust me on that. Okay, so there we go. We got the crinkles out. Now, those of you who are patient, wait till tomorrow. We'll see ya. Good night. Wait. Don't rush this. If you got a rush order to get one done in a day, which I have had happen.
Okay.
You can use a blow dryer or a heat gun.
Okay. And
just get it dry. But honestly, you're going to be happier if you just wait. So we're going to toss that aside.
Of course, if you live in a really dry climate like Arizona or something, you just stick it outside for...
And bake it.
And bake
it in your yard. Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so this one I did, I don't even know how long ago. I found it. I came in this morning to make a test. And then I realized, oh, I have one. So I didn't make another one. Let's hope it comes off. Okay. So here's the trick. So now where the patience really comes in. You need to wet this down and get off the paper. You're going to be like, Sue, talking about? Yes. The paper is just the pulp. And what we have done in the process before this is we have glued the ink to the paint, which is attached to the wood.
Okay.
And if we've done it right, and if we've waited long enough, when we wet it, the glue, the ink will not come off.
Oh,
just
good.
The paper. So let's give it a shot, shall we? Let me show you how this works. Now, I've gotten to the point where I can just like run this under the sink and just choom. But I'm going to show you how to start slow with this.
Okay.
Start slow.
Do we need water or do you have water?
Water.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is I'm literally just putting my fingers in and wetting this. See that? So I'm just going to do a little space at a time. And you can see it's soaking right into the pulp. It's going exactly. But I see a couple little lines there that might have been glue. That's okay. It's okay. So the next thing we do, I really should have done my nails. My fingernail remover method is put it on for a show and then let it get all the way off on its own until the next show. And then do it again. Okay, here's what we're doing. Just rubbing it back and forth a little bit. And we're getting that first layer off. Okay, and you be gentle because you don't know if it's how well your stuff is sticking. So give it a shot first, but that's looking pretty good. And you notice there's no ink here, so this white just comes right off. Okay, you can even kind of pull off the edge. And I like to kind of push to the edge. If by any chance it actually comes up, sometimes you can glue it back down again. But this paper has like a little bit of a shiny coat on the top, so you can almost pull it all off at once. See what we're doing there? So it'll kind of almost come off like in big chunks. That's very satisfying. Okay, so the deal is, you guys, and then you can you're gonna use different ways. You're gonna go, use your thumb. You can kind of go with your hand. You don't want it too wet or too dry. If it's too dry, you're not gonna pull anything off. And if it's too wet, you're gonna pull the whole damn thing off. Okay, so this is what I mean right there. There was a little glue. So I'm not gonna force that right now. But this is working well. I don't see the image coming up. Don't try to go all the way through yet.
Okay.
Just don't rush it. Don't rush it. Go ahead and get it all off. Okay? And get that off first, because this takes place in layers. I always recommend kind of doing more than one at a time, so you don't get crazy obsessive. I actually recommend that on any kind of craft project that you're doing, is to be working on something else so you can kind of go back and forth. I do that when I'm painting, because you got to step back and take a deep breath, and the only thing that can stop me when I'm in mid-project is another project that I'm in mid-project. Like that's the only thing that can.
That's kind of how I clean house.
Is it? Do you just bop around from one to the other? Mm-hmm. So this is coming off really well, you guys. And this was just an image that I got off the internet. I just thought it was pretty.
It is.
So I'm having a little trouble right there. Sometimes a razor blade will help, if you need to get in there. But just get that first layer off first, and make sure you're doing this over something you can wipe off, you guys, because this will get, when I'm in mid-project mode, there's just little pieces of pulp everywhere. It'd be nice if we could figure out how to do something with all this pulp, too.
I'll make more paper.
Yeah, all right. There we go. Okay, so now that I've gotten to this level, you guys, I stop.
Okay, let that dry?
And let it dry. Because basically the water has gone in and it may have saturated into the inks.
And you don't want to rub that off?
Right. So just do it in layers. Let it go and then let it dry. And then let it go and then let it dry, I think. You can risk it. You can keep going and going and going, but you're pushing more water into your ink and into your
yeah, I would
paint.
think it might start bleeding if you just kept at it.
It's not going to bleed. It won't bleed, but you will accidentally, you might pull it up.
Okay.
You just might pull it up, okay? So while we're waiting...
The butterfly has a hole in its wing.
But there's lots of fun ways that you can fix stuff, too. Like the truck, basically what happened on the truck is I pulled off on the edge, and that gave me the idea of doing the rustic edges. So once you get to that point, you can use a sanding block. You can use so many different things to kind of get like a more rustic feel going on. And you guys, once you do this a lot, because it is really fun to do, and you really can just sit there and make everybody ornaments and presents. Let's do one right now. You'll just get more brave, and you'll take your sanding block and be like you'll just get a feel for it. There's nothing I can show you online about getting a feel for it. You just have to do it.
You can distress it.
Distress it, exactly. So I printed these out so that this would kind of fit on there. Probably needed it a little bit bigger, but I'll just do what I said. I'll probably distress around the top and the edge so it'll look like it's noir, but in reverse. So it's the white kind of fading in instead of, I think if you decoupage it, it would be easier. Yes, Melissa, here's the difference. That's a really good question. There's a difference to the look. Decoupaging is always going to be easier because you're just putting the picture on.
Right.
But image transfers are much more long lasting. They are, once you transfer that ink, it's a part of the piece. So I like doing image transfers when I'm doing large pieces of furniture. I don't want all that paper in the decoupage. Okay. Over time, it could warp, it could get wet, it could get messed up. So I do image transfers on furniture when I want that piece like stuck on for life.
Okay.
I did one giant armoire. My stepdad took a beautiful picture of Union Station.
Oh.
Just gorgeous, like black and white. It was really like it just looked like the arches, and you were looking through. And I had this beautiful armoire, and it was about 5 feet tall and about 2.5 feet wide. And I printed it out, and I failed.
Oh.
And then I did it again, and it worked.
So, did you print it out on one big piece of paper, or several small pieces?
I was cheap. And I said, I can just print this out on my printer because I don't have time to go to Kinko's. Wait, do we still have Kinko's?
Kinko's. It used to be Kinko's. Now it's just one of your office supply stores.
Yes. I didn't want to pay for it, and I was too impatient. And so what I did is I printed the whole thing out. It was about 4x2. And then I stuck it with tape. And then I put it on there, and I did everything right. And I have pictures of that. When I teach this class, I show them the picture of that so they don't feel bad. But what I learned was to go take that and get it blown up, poster size, put it all on at once, and put a lot of, I used matte medium because it's more of a gel. And it turned out so beautiful. And then I put it online, and it sold the next day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm onto something. It turned out it sold to my stepdad's niece who followed me on Facebook. And she came and picked it up from Charlottesville. So, I mean, she did love it, but it's because it was her uncle's.
Right. She wanted something to remember him by.
Yeah. Well, he's not dead.
Well, I know, but, eventually
he will be.
Yes. He will be eventually.
And she'll have that dresser forever.
Right.
So,
it could become a family heirloom.
I also use the image transfer on my jewelry. I have started doing some with the decoupage. It is easier, but I guess I just worry because you've got all that paper pulp there that can absorb moisture, that can eventually peel off. A lot of people have brought me decoupage pieces to sell in the store that when they sit in the window, they crinkle up. So I just think if you're willing to do the work, it's a safer. It looks a little different, I don't know if I could have done this look with decoupage. I could have probably, but see, when you sand on a decoupage, you're getting to the paper underneath.
Right.
So you're sanding down to white, unless you keep sanding. When you're sanding back an image transfer, you're sanding back to whatever color's underneath. So okay. I'm sorry, just think of it like a sandwich. They're just places, I mean, I think both are really good skill sets. And they just look different. Like if I were to decoupage this, I could cut it out, I could decoupage it, I put something on it, and I know maybe I'll show you the difference. Maybe I'll do one of each and you'll see. One, I guess if I'm being honest, one looks like something a kid did in craft class at summer camp. And one looks like art.
Did they actually print it on?
I have one of these from summer camp of a rose. I still have it on a piece of wood block with Mod Podge on it.
Okay.
And I love it. And my mother pretended to love it too. But I just think if we're going a little bit more artsy-fartsy, I would prefer the image transfer. Where did I just put the wood block? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so let's see. Tip like down there. All right, so what I'm going to do here, my mother still loved me. This is going to be one of those ones where I think I'm going to go this way. Okay?
Okay.
And the reason is so that I can really make sure that I'm placing it over their faces and in here as much as I can, because this way I can't really tell what I'm doing.
Right.
All right, so, and it doesn't really matter. You can either put the Mod Podge here or here. I'm going to put it on the wood block because that will give us the barrier that we know we need. Comment below on where you guys have used it differently. Like Mod Podge versus. I'd be interested to see because it's a really good question. Okay. All right. I mean, I definitely understand doing image transfer, like when you're doing fabric, because decoupage won't work on the fabric. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to try to make sure I get the date. I'm not going to worry about getting this part. I'm just going to get them dancing and the date. So I'm going to try to get the long end here. Go right up there. I think I got it. There we go. Some of it might be kind of on the bark. And then press down. There we go. Okay. All right, and then you can see it starts to bubble up as soon as you do it. As soon as you put that paper on, it starts to bubble, but that is okay. We're just gonna push it out. So pushing the air and the glue out to the sides. Are you looking that up? Oh, you're looking to see where the comments are. I thought maybe you were looking up the pros and cons. Okay, now you can see what I was talking about before. It's pressed out to the edge. So what we want to do is try to use a brush or a toothbrush or whatever you can to try to get that up. Here, I can wipe off my, there we go. Otherwise you'll just kind of have a thick thing of glue. You can probably peel it off when you're done. Okay. Any more questions, you guys? All right, so I'm just gonna let this dry overnight and then I can peel off the side and do the same technique. But I think that's gonna be really cute. So I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to give them the plaque and then a special ornament that they can have on their tree, except that they're Jewish. Oh well. All right, so I'm gonna set these two aside. They're done.
You know, the tree started out as a pagan thing, so I don't understand why.
That's not gonna fly with Aunt Loie.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice idea.
I've always wondered.
Aunt Loie's not going for that, honey. These are Jews in Tampa.
Okay.
Palm
tree, huh?
Yeah. All right. So now do you see what happened? So now it's dry, and now you see all that pulp. You thought you were done. You ain't done, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna wet it again, and now's where the truth lies. Okay. Now is where you really run the risk more of pulling off actual image. But this is doing well. I find that things with a lot of ink really do better, you know. Okay. Try not to do like some kind of intricate line drawing of black and white, because this has like a big chunk of ink right here, and that just seems to help. All right, so we'll kind of keep going. All right, now when you get to this stage, you can kind of wipe it off. One thing that I have found that I use when I'm doing these is the magic eraser. The Mr. Clean magic eraser.
Okay.
It's so fine that you can get little areas off that you wouldn't have thought you can. Your fingers really work the best. But if you're like, I've done entire tables like this. So when I'm doing that, I'm definitely using a tool. But like, you think you're done and you'll keep going and you're like, oh my God, there's still more pulp. So, you know, it just depends on your personality. There are going to be people who are like, oh my God, I could sit in front of the TV and do this like all day long. And then there are going to be other personalities that are going to be like, oh, hell to the no. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Sue, that was dumb. I'm sorry I watched you tonight. I am never doing that. So it's going to be somewhere, you know. But, you know, I'm impatient. I think we can all agree on my impatience. I won't take offense. But I really enjoy it. I do. I really enjoy it. It slows me down. And you can just keep going.
And you like working with your hands. So
I do. Well, that's why the felting has been so fun. I think we're going to start off the new year. I think this is in Bold and Brazen. I think it's going to be a year of kind of, I don't want to limit it to fabric and felting. I just think it needs to be tactile.
Yes.
I think I want to, you Miss Angus, she's right here.
And you spelled my name wrong. How
she's
dare
not
you?
A steer.
Exactly.
Nick.
Are you saying I'm a cow?
Did you call her cow? Front porch Nick.
I'm just teasing.
I gotta go pull in my see, now I'm addicted. Now, okay, y'all talk about. Now I'm having so much fun that I'm gonna keep going and going. Okay. I'll stop. Okay. There we go.
Autocorrect. Yeah.
Can you do me one more favor? Just one.
That's what I live for, Sue.
Wow. That wasn't loaded at all. She walked away and I didn't even tell her what I wanted. What do I want? Do you know what I want? I bet you do. No. My box is turned the wrong way, but the one that should say brushes and things has a sponge sander in it. I want to show them how to rough up their edges. I think I might need to, yes, perfect. I think I might need to take in my garland. It looks so pretty, but now it's going to be soaking wet.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think about the fact that my clothes garland was going to have to get rained on. But, I mean, it's just clothes. Mm-hmm. It just might be, like, a little drippy. Okay, so here's something you can do. You can go around and get the edges off. Okay? Now, we still have a lot of work to do on this one, you guys. We're not even close. As far as getting it off. But another thing you can do is very lightly sand, and you can get some of that pulp off. Once you're brave and bold and brazen, you can start sanding it and you'll start getting more off. But the other thing you can do is, if this was like the line around the edge, you can kind of go right in, and that's how you get the jaggedy edges. You wet it and just sand it a little bit. Like, I don't think I really want to do that on the butterfly.
Right.
But that's what you could do if you had a border. And so when you're all done, so one more time we'll do it. Mm-hmm. You can go in, you could put in other colors. You could just leave it. And this one's on just a light white. This, I don't think we painted this.
Or even smaller butterflies.
Yep. You can do whatever you want. And that's the other thing. You can do one on top of each other. Like, once you've done one, you can go back and put something else on top of it. Again, I just don't see that happening with decoupage. I mean, when would you choose decoupage over this? Or this over decoupage, now that you've seen both?
I think if I wanted to do it on a piece of furniture, I would probably want to do image transferred.
Yeah. There's some really great artists out there. I'm blanking on her name right now, but all she does are these Baroque, beautiful, like, highly intricate image transfers onto her furniture pieces.
Is that like the one with the paintings?
Yes. But
the
she
image
goes
transfers
in.
of paintings?
But she goes in and fills it in.
Oh, wow.
With like 50 different colors of paint. That's why she makes like one every 6 months.
Okay.
I don't think you need to fill it in. Look, if I were doing this and all of a sudden I was doing it and like I went and it all came off, do you know what I would do?
What?
I would do the same thing on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, you guys, it's okay. That's part of the charm. So I think that's about it. I'm covered in pulp. Agnes and I are going to go up the street to an open jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to show up empty-handed.
Feed me.
I can bring him my nachos that I made. Agnes made us nachos last time, so I thought I would return the favor this week and make nachos. Y'all want some?
She forgot the jalapenos.
I forgot everything. The chicken. I just put cheese on top because I just love cheese.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
I did see the jalapeno slices behind the, was it 2 bottles of champagne? Oh.
That's what happens. So you guys, I won't be here next Friday because I'm going to be driving to North Carolina. Look, driving for 7 hours.
I can't think of his name.
My husband, Brian.
No, Dalen. Is he going to drive at all?
I don't think he can because he can't drive with a minor in the car.
Wait a
minute.
Wouldn't one of the adults be in the passenger seat if he's driving?
Let's think about that. That could be a game changer.
Especially
We're
on
still sitting
open
on our
road
asses
where...
for 7 hours, 3 days before Christmas. They used to live in Charlottesville.
And now they live?
I don't know. Somewhere in North Carolina.
Okay.
It takes forever.
In the mountains? Near the coast?
No, they're in Louisville or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's near Greensboro, where I went to college.
Okay.
It's okay. I love them. So we drive, and we eat, and we stay at a hotel, and then we drive home 2 days later.
Oh, that's like when I go and visit my friends Greg and Holly that live out in Kentucky. That's like a 9-hour drive.
Greg and Holly are in Kentucky?
Yes.
I didn't know they were that far.
Yes.
All right. Either way, I will not be here, so don't tune in. I just won't be here, but I'll be back. Goodness, will I be back the next week? Yes. I'll probably have my mama here.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. I'll try to get mama on here. Y'all saw her. She's the one who painted my kitchen floor, right?
Yeah.
Those are my favorite pictures of Mama, slaving away, painting roses on my kitchen floor.
They're
She's
really
like,
pretty.
she's like, call me yesterday, like, what do I need to mentally prepare for? Anyway, guys, please have a happy holiday, whatever holiday you are celebrating. Even if it is no holiday, you're just excited that everybody will be off the roads for a day so you can enjoy your town. Please be safe and relax through craft.
Yes.
If you can. Even don't make it so stressful that you're just trying to make some freaking presents and you're just like, I just have to get this done because I'm going to the... No. Take a break from making the stuff if you have to, and just do something for you that doesn't have to be done. Get in your left brain, because that's going to like reduce your stress. Right? If you knit,
it's been proven scientifically.
Absolutely. It'll reduce your stress. So if your family is stressing you out, or the in-laws or whoever, like, go in the other room and just pick up your knitting needles, not to stab them with, but take a break with your craft. Whatever you can do, paint something, dye something, bead something, carry something with you that you can do. Like, I do that on my trips. I'm like, what can I take with me? That's why I work on my jewelry. I bring that everywhere. So I have something to do when those people stress me. Let's sing them goodbye and get to the party. Ready?
Yes.
It's the new Sue Review. Come and ride at you. With Tanglewood Sue and Accidental Agnes too. Good night, everybody. Happy holidays. Mwah. Don't drink and drive. I'm going to drink. She's going to drive. Bye.